Hello, guys. Karabo back again. Okay, so guys, today I just want to talk about something else, right? Today I want to talk about the whole black, let's call it the whole non-white versus white people thing that's going on, not only in South Africa, but I can even count the USA as well, right? Because South Africa and the USA have very similar histories, right? And very similar type of people, by the way. But anyway, so I think one of the biggest things the politicians are using against South African citizens is this whole thing of making whites and non-whites, especially blacks and whites, fight against each other, pitting them against each other, right? So it's the divide and conquer rule. You understand? What they fear the most is blacks and whites believing in one thing, working together. So not believing in one thing in their cultures, right? Black and white people have different cultures, but that doesn't mean that they can't have different goals. Oh, sorry, that doesn't mean that they can't have the same goals for the country. For example, we can very easily, because the most important goals in a country are normally the same across peoples, if that makes sense. We want a safe country. We want a country that educates our kids to the highest levels. We want a good health system. Those are basics. That's all we want. We want a country that whereby the infrastructure is amazing to create a good foundation for entrepreneurship to thrive, right? Those type of things. But it's not only the ANC politicians. It's not only the ANC politicians that fear unity among South African races. Think about it, even the National Party from 1948, right? That's why I genuinely believe that South Africa's problems all stem from politics, not the people on the ground, right? The National Party in 1948, when they came in, decided that blacks and whites, or non-whites, and well, all races need to be separated. Non-whites need to live somewhere else. Whites need to live somewhere else, right? Now, if you're white, think about this. It's a country whereby you, as a white person, in 1948 are the only ones allowed to vote, right? You live in a country whereby you don't really understand the other side that well, right? So there's a normal fear that exists there because you don't understand these people well. Similar to how a Zulu person may not understand a Pedi person well. So there would be a natural fear when dealing with that Pedi person. This is normal. There's nothing abnormal there. This is just human nature. Then, now, what happens? The government of the day, right, divide and conquer again, says to white people, you are superior, you will get the best of what South Africa has to offer. And blacks will be third-class citizens, right? Now, it's very easy when you're a black person to hear that and think that had it been the other way around, we would have behaved differently. We probably wouldn't have. Think about it. Be honest with yourself. In 1948, if it was a black government that came in and said it's going to make white people third-class citizens and black people will get the best of what South Africa has to offer, would us, the normal citizens, have fought against the government? We probably wouldn't have. It's normal human nature, right, for you to gravitate towards what favors you, right? Only the smartest among us or the bravest among us would have had it in them to say, wait a minute, right? This is wrong because you're now discriminating against others. And it did happen. There were plenty of white people, as we know, that said this is wrong, even though they are white and the country at the time is geared towards them. But they said, no, this is wrong. We can't live in a place like this, right? Some white people even died for that very same thing I'm speaking about. So that's why, personally, I absolutely refuse to hate white people, because I know very well that had black people been in the same position, they would have done the same thing. Now let's go to 94, or maybe let's go to around 98, when something like BEE is brought in, right? It's now, forget the fact that looking like with hindsight, we're able to see that BEE has not worked, right? Because it only favors a few black people, and we know all of that. But let's say BEE had worked. In other words, its execution. Let's just say its execution satisfied or met or did what it was supposed to do, which is to benefit the majority of previously disadvantaged people, black people, colored people, Indian people, right? Let's just say it had worked. It's very easy for us to look at that and say, because obviously white people feel like that's discrimination, right? Because that's a law. Because think about it, a white, I'm not talking about a rich white child. Sometimes we need to watch out with this, guys. Not a rich white child. Think about a below middle class white child, right? That child will feel discriminated. That child born in the year 2000, for example, they'll feel discriminated because he or she does not feel rich, but they are treated as though they are rich. When I say treated, the system treats them like they're rich, denied certain opportunities, but they feel like they don't even have opportunity. You see? So my whole point there is that it's very easy for us as black people to say no, BEE should exist because it's addressing like something that happened in the past that must be fixed. That's fine. That's fair. And when white people cry and say that it discriminates them, it's easy for us as black people to stand up and say no, but we're fixing something from the past, right? I'm saying that even more than the fact that we're fixing something in the past, it confirms that we are okay with discriminating another race, us as black people. Right? It confirms that. Because to me, if we felt like what white people did in South Africa since they came here, right? By reserving the best for them, if we felt like we are morally superior to them, hence we fought, right, against them to stop that system, we shouldn't do the very same thing that they did. To me, that's weird, right? If you slap me and I say, okay, fine, I think you're... Sorry, guys. If I say you're beneath me because you slapped me, right? But then I turn around and slap you as well. Am I not on your level? But then I hide behind the fact that you slapped me first. That doesn't make sense, right? And sometimes I think this is where the disconnect happens with the whole West not being in favor of South Africa at the moment. Let me explain. What happens is this. The West says, we looked at apartheid and we helped you guys, the black majority or the non-white majority, let's put it that way. We helped you guys stop that minority government from discriminating you guys. We helped you not because you are black. We helped you because what the government of the day was doing was wrong, which was discrimination. So now when we turn around and discriminate white people, and then the white people, now the West is turning around and saying, what you guys are doing is the same discrimination that they were doing, and it's wrong. We now want to fight and say no, but something is wrong with what the West is saying or doing. You understand? To me, it only makes sense. Wrong is wrong, regardless of who's doing it. You understand? But anyway, maybe I'm the only one who thinks like this. I don't know, guys. But the whole white genocide thing, that's out. We all know there's no white genocide in South Africa. That is, according to me, that's rubbish, right? By the way, genocide, the definition of genocide is clear. So it's not a subjective thing, right? It's clear. Like it's something that is noted. So certain things have to be met for it to qualify as a genocide, and we know that this doesn't at all, right? There's no white genocide in South Africa. But what there is in South Africa is there's definitely discrimination against minorities. That is a fact, right? And for me, unfortunately, I don't have everything or whatever, but I really don't think I need the government to help me to get anywhere in South Africa. All I need is the government to, at a minimum, create a system whereby the country creates a lot of jobs and entrepreneurship thrives, and then I'll make a plan. After that, it's done. I'll make a plan to get a job, and if ever I want to be an entrepreneur, I'll make a plan and become a business person. That's all that I need from the state, nothing else. And that's coming from someone who doesn't have much, you see. So anyway, guys, that was just my opinion for this video. Just always watch out when it comes to the state, guys. These people are not for you. They're not for us, right? It's divide and conquer. It was the National Party before 94. It's the ANC after 1994. There's absolutely nothing a white person can do right in the eyes of the ANC. A white person can't call out any black person for doing or saying anything wrong simply because they are white. You know? That does not make sense. To me, that is just weird and it's stupid, you know. And I'm not trying to say that white people have this divine right to discipline black people. I'm just saying what is wrong is wrong. Doesn't matter what is right. Doesn't matter who's doing it. And it doesn't matter who's calling it out. Doesn't matter what race they are. You see? Anyway, guys, please like and subscribe, and please comment. That is so important, so that I can better the videos as well. Cheers, guys.